You're listening to the Morning Drive podcast from Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3, recapping the night that was in the world of sports.
A little bit later on tonight, we'll have the Astros and the Diamondbacks. That'll be at 8. And then the Rangers playing at Seattle tonight.
And also bringing some humor to your day.
Was it pretty big?
Yeah, I mean,
it's impressive.
Yeah.
Was it fascinating?
I thought it was fascinating. It kind of smelled, but I mean.
Hear the show live weekday mornings at 6 on Double T 97.3 or on the Double T 97.3 mobile app.
With Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire, I'm Chuck Hines. Take your thoughts, comments on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to the Double T 97.3 mobile app presented by Happy State Bank for that. All right, I've got a number of little baseball tidbits here that I want to run at you, okay? If we didn't have a guy named Gus, I probably would go by Gullible Gus because generally speaking, I take things at face value. So if this is a fake or a fraud, then it's I don't know how else to adjust or to look at this and go, I just take it at face value, okay? So I saw something yesterday from Jace Young, basically a tweet that said, what are the odds that Josh hits a foul ball and it lands in my lap? Like 1,000,000 to 1. To the casino I go. So apparently Jace got a foul ball yesterday from Josh.
That's cool.
Like landed in his lap.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna take that at face value. The Texas Rangers yesterday finished up their season, Jamie, right? And they beat the Yankees. Mm-hmm. Listening to Eric Nadel yesterday afternoon on Double T 97.3, he informed the listening audience that the Rangers, and now with the save that they got yesterday, had 35 saves. The relievers had 35 saves on the season. Just 35 saves. Want to take a wild guess how many blown saves the Rangers had?
35.
30. That is a
big number.
That is a ton. That is a ton of those.
And you remember the Rangers lost a ton of one-run games.
Yeah, and I don't have the number on that, but you're exactly right. So I don't know
at least 50. Like it was 50 like on Friday last week.
Was it really?
Yes.
Yeah.
50 of no team. The team record is 53, and it was looking like they were on pace to break that at that point.
So what's their top priority, do you think?
Starting pitching.
And then do you think after that it's a closer, or do you think it's more about getting guys that can go longer into the game?
Well, I mean, both things will help, but I think you go for starting pitching. I mean, you definitely look for bullpen help too, but I think number one priority is starting pitching.
Wonder how many teams will be looking for starting pitching out of 32. 30.
A lot.
30.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, there's 12 in the playoffs.
Right.
And there's 30 in baseball, so I'm going to say 30.
30, right. So there you go. So, and there's not like there's a bunch of starting pitching out there.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see, and you also can make trades.
Matt Moore got the save yesterday, so he gets saves in back-to-back days.
Nice.
Okay. The other thing that I saw, and this is a wild story, okay? And again, this comes from the Dallas Morning News, credible source, right?
Sure.
Okay. So the home run by Judge the other night that was for 62. The guy that got it, he was not in those seats. He was not scheduled to be in the seat where he got the home run ball, okay? Corey Yeomans. There was a family that was supposed to be in those seats. They had bought those seats, which basically was Section 31 there at Globe Life. But when they got to the game, the usher told them to go down this row of seats, this row of stairs, and it was the wrong row of stairs for them to go down to get to the access to their seats. And so I guess they got there right at game time because this happened in the first inning.
Leadoff batter of the game.
Yeah, this happened, right away. So they weren't in their proper seats yet when Judge leads off the game to hit the home run. There was another guy who was right there as well, Shane Rangani, and he was right there. He thought the ball was coming right at him, and the ball was coming right at him. He dropped his phone to raise his hands to make the catch, and then Corey Yeomans came into play because he was sitting behind him and had his glove out, and he was able to get the ball. The Van Wy family of Grand Rapids, Michigan, they were there, but they were not there soon enough, and so as a result, they missed out. Here's the thing that's interesting. None of these people are mad at Corey Yeomans. Okay?
I don't think they should be.
No, I mean, well, the guy that maybe has the gripe was the guy that was in his seat and Yeomans got in front of him to make the catch. But hey, when that happens, that's just the way it is. But I mean,
sure,
but none of these people are like filing lawsuits or anything like that. Well, usually that's how the human race is that we immediately like, I was robbed, so to speak, right?
Sure.
Because it's a $2 million baseball. But I just thought that was. He said the ballpark usher told them they needed to go down the aisle on the other side of the section. The family reached the other side. They realized that, in fact, the usher was wrong. They tried to navigate down the wrong aisle toward their seats, but by then, Judge had stepped into the box, and the Van Wys couldn't get to their seats.
Yeah, I can't feel bad for them getting there right at that point.
Yeah. No.
How about a little preparation?
Right. I don't know if traffic was bad or whatever. Apparently, the daddy of the group, and the kids were like 19 and 17, brought his glove and says he has no doubt he would have caught the ball, but he said he wouldn't have sold the ball. Of course, easy to say when you don't have it, right?
$2 million, man.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
Maybe he's already loaded. I don't know.
He said, I just wanted the ball. I know it sounds crazy, but it's the truth. We planned this. We bought the tickets in June. We were here all 4 games. We got to witness history. So anyway, it was just interesting to me. Then the guy that jumped into the...
I wonder if they had those exact tickets for all 4 games.
They did.
Okay, well then why? How would the usher have told them the wrong thing? They were there Monday night and Tuesday during the day, and they couldn't figure out which way to go. That story's not matching up now. So they sat there twice already, but then they couldn't figure it out the third time.
I don't know.
I haven't been to the old ballpark in about 4 years, 3 years. Anyway, this was 2019. So
I mean, they have to go back like all of 5 hours before they did it the last time.
Like I said,
the usher told them the wrong way to go.
That's what he told me. That's what's in the article in the Dallas Morning News. And he's what they're saying is that Yeomans would not have been able to get to that spot if
they'd have been in their seats.
They'd have been in their seats.
Yeah,
makes sense. Those seats 1, 2, 3, and 4 were vacant.
Mm-hmm.
He said this other guy Rangani was right there. He was videoing it on his phone, and he said into his phone, "This dude caught this blank right here." He said, "Can you show the ball?" And Yeomans had the ball tight against his glove. And then somebody was like, security's coming. People were looking at him. Didn't say a word. He was shaking. He was pale. He's holding onto that ball so tightly. I just kept telling him, don't give up the ball. And then apparently this guy wanted to stay and watch the rest of the game, Yeomans. But the security's like, no, our job is to get you out of here, get that ball out of here, and authenticate it.
Yeah, I wondered about that. Because they were ushering him and getting him basically. It felt like out of the stadium
for his security. Is that's what they said for his security. And then it said Yeomans told security he wanted to stay and watch the game. Security told him that he was required to be ushered away for his safety. Anyway, I just thought that was an interesting story, great story. It'll be kind of the what if story for that guy and that family. Like you said, I mean, if you were there, I don't know if they were there for the doubleheader or not. They had those seats. I don't know if they were there the previous night or not.
But you said they had the tickets for all 4 games?
Yeah, they had the ticket. That's what the article says. That's what the article says. So that's the last little bit on the Aaron Judge thing. And one last little baseball tidbit for you. You might see this if you watch SportsCenter, if you've seen highlights. Stephen Vogt, in his final major league at bat after 10 seasons with the Oakland A's, went out with a home run.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
He was introduced to home plate by his 3 children. Apparently,
Cool.
they were his 3 children said, "Now batting our dad." Okay.
No way, that's cool.
So he goes up there, smiles, hits the home run, and then runs around the bases like a little leaguer, right?
Giddy. Yeah, he was giddy.
So this is the guy that won a World Series with the Braves last year. He's 37 years old. This was his last plate appearance. You want to know what happened on his first plate appearance as a Major League Baseball player?
Hit a home run.
He did. So he bookended.
Nice.
That's a pretty good way to end a career, right?
Nice.
What happened with the rest of the bats, Chuck? I mean, if he's hitting a home run that often.
Well, he played in the Major Leagues 10 years.
Yeah, clearly not very often, Jeff, because his career is over.
Yeah. And he's done at 37, and he's, he's accomplished an awful lot, right?
Getting your sports day started the right way. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, breaking down the biggest games.
If Texas Tech does not win the Big 12 football conference, who are you rooting for to win the conference if Tech does not win it this year?
While busting some chops along the way.
I hold back on sending you stuff. I mean, I'm very, very, very judicious.
We spend 3 hours a day, 5 days a week together. Why would we need to communicate during the weekends?
Right,
Save it for the show.
We do. We save it for the show.
Tune into the Morning Drive live weekdays from 6 to 9 on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3.
Today is October the 6th. 2022. Here's Jeff McGuire.
1911 is where we will start today, gentlemen. Boston Rustlers future Baseball Hall of Fame pitcher Cy Young, in his Major League Baseball farewell appearance, that's a letdown. Loses 13-3 to the Brooklyn Dodgers in his 906th game.
Wow.
As a pitcher.
That's crazy.
1919, in the World Series, the Chicago White Sox catcher Ray Schlack is the second man ejected from the game in Game 5 versus the Cincinnati Reds. He's angered because his pitcher and Lefty Williams refused to follow his signals while he's calling in the balls and strikes for whatever, and they were 5-0 loss.
So he
1919.
He gets tossed because he's angry with his own...
He's yelling and being very vocal.
At his own pitcher.
At his own pitcher.
Okay, that's different.
1919 Black Sox. Catcher wasn't in on it.
Okay. All right. Gotcha.
He was very angry. Calling for a fastball and getting a curveball. And
I gotcha.
1923, first National League unassisted triple play took place. Ernie Padgett of the Braves against the Phillies.
Ernie Padgett.
1945, tavern owner Billy Goats Sinus buys a seat for his goat at Game 4 of the Baseball World Series.
Oh, here we go.
He's escorted out and casts a goat curse on the Chicago Cubs that then makes them have errors after they blame a fan in the stands and don't make good decisions with their rosters and
spend their money foolishly.
Yes.
It's all the goat's fault.
Right.
Billy's fault. Yeah. And they would take goats in there from time to time to try to break the curse, as opposed to signing better pitchers.
Yeah.
I thought it was the curse of the drunken play-by-play man.
Oh, that's not a curse. That's a blessing.
That's a blessing. Gosh.
1966, Orioles pitcher Jim Palmer, at 20, is the youngest to record a World Series shutout as Baltimore beats the Dodgers 6-0 in Game 2 at Dodger Stadium. 1983, the New York Jets announce they're leaving Shea Stadium for the Meadowlands. 1985, New York Yankee knuckleballer Phil Niekro becomes the 18th pitcher to win 300 games. At 46, he becomes the oldest to pitch a shutout, beating Toronto 8-0.
Nice.
God, that was awful late for that season to end, too. This was 85?
Yeah.
Okay, there was a brief player kind of walkout, I think, that year that may have extended the season a few days.
Okay.
If that memory serves me correct.
And in 1993, after 9 seasons and 3 NBA championships, Chicago Bulls Michael Jordan announces his retirement from the league. The first time. He'd return on March 18th of 95 and lead the Bulls to another 3 titles and retire for the second time. He'd then come back again. No, we'll get to that later. It's National Noodle Day.
Noodle Day.
Noodle Day.
Are you a fan of the noodle?
If it's like loaded in cheese or like meat and tomato sauce. Yeah, I'm not afraid of the noodle and any kind of white sauce.
Okay.
But yeah.
A thick noodle? I'm not a real big, I don't think a big thick noodle fan.
I'm not really much of a I'm fine with most noodles.
Okay.
Yeah, whether they're thin or thick or skinny or stringy or whatever. I mean, really, the noodle is just the carrier. I mean, it's what goes with it. It's the cheese or the meat or whatever that matters, right?
It's a carrier. It's a carrier. Sounds like some kind of a...
It's not the meal. It's just
some kind of a virus. It's a carrier. The noodle is a carrier.
It brings the meat and the cheese to me. Yeah,
Okay.
so...
I mean, ultimately, popcorn is just a butter and salt carrier. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's what its function is to carry the butter and the salt from the bowl to my hand.
So what about people like me who don't eat popcorn with either of those things on it?
You don't eat a whole lot of popcorn either.
I do not. That is fair.
I like my popcorn with just salt. Thank you.
Then it's the salt distributor. Happy birthday to Trevor Lawrence, who's 23. Pink Ranger Amy Jo Johnson is 52. Tony Dungy is 66. Ruben Sierra is 57. And Freddie Garcia is 45. And on this day in 1961, President John F. Kennedy speaks on the civil defense, advises American families to build bomb shelters to protect them from atomic fallout in the event of a nuclear exchange with the Soviet Union. Kennedy also assured the public that the U.S. civil defense program would soon begin providing such protection for every American. Only 1 year later, true to Kennedy's fears, the world hovered on the brink of full-scale nuclear war with the Cuban Missile Crisis erupted over Russia's placement of nuclear weapons in Cuba. And that is this day in sports history.
Yes. Are you tired of national radio contests that the other radio stations do around this town, where local listeners have little to no chance of actually winning? Kind of like catching a home run ball, next to no chance, right?
Next to none.
Next to none. So are we. So we've made it easier for you to get that home run ball because we've teamed up with the Home Zone, making your house a home, to give away $10,000 right here in Lubbock, Texas, America. All you have to do is listen at this time, 8:45 and 4:45 in the afternoon, and then go to WT973.com. Enter the secret word for the $10,000 grand prize that we'll give away on November the 18th. Jamie, the more times you enter, the more chances you have to win. Today is Thursday, October the 6th at 6:45-ish. Well, it's now 6:52. Jazz. Very simple. Jazz is the secret word. Jazz. Jazz. So go to WT973.com. Enter that in.
You're kind of dressed like a jazz guy today.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll take that as a compliment. Got the black turtleneck on, ready to...
Looks like you could be playing some jazz today.
Go into kind of a smoky, kind of filled, small little bar, and get out a saxophone or something like that. Have a cold drink there. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Have a little jazz action going.
You have an artsy look to you today.
Artsy look? Okay. I'll take that as a compliment, I think. That is your secret word, jazz, brought to you by the Home Zone and Double T 97.3. This from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Chuck, you struck me as a egg noodle guy. Guess not. No. Thought they were big in Kansas on mashed potatoes. Newsflash, I don't eat mashed potatoes. I don't really eat potatoes. I don't like a baked potato. I don't like mashed potatoes. Really don't like mashed potatoes with a lot of butter and no. I really, generally speaking, the only kind of potatoes I really like are French fries. And if that makes me a 9-year-old, then so be it.
You do you, homie.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. This little tidbit, I think this is cool. So Dusty Baker, yesterday, manager of the Houston Astros, put in his pitcher, Phil Maton, in the top of the 8th inning because his younger brother, Nick, was coming to the plate for the Phillies. Okay? And Nick Maton promptly singled to right center.
Off his brother. Man.
That's pretty cool.
That stinks at Thanksgiving table there.
Little brother beats little brother, big brother on something like that. That is, I think that's
little
cool.
brother got the hit.
Little brother got the hit.
That's good then.
Yeah, little brother got the hit.
Better.
Yeah, little brother got the hit. So I thought that was pretty good. Let's see. Black Turtleneck Day. There's a fedora in Chuck's backseat. His sex player name, Head Daddy Rabbit. Wow. Do not have a fedora. I don't own one of those. Sorry.
I think you'd be better off with the kind that snaps at the front.
Oh yeah.
What is that called?
I can't remember.
Like Payne Stewart used to wear.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I'm talking about, Jeff?
Yeah. I used
what
to
is
have
that
a couple
called?
of those
I don't
hats.
know what it's called, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I think you'd be better off with one of those.
I own one of
That's
those hats.
more you
I have
than
one
a
of those.
fedora.
Yeah. Have one of those hats. 6:55 this morning here on the Morning Drive. We'll talk Tech football next. They're in action this week. They take on the Oklahoma State Cowboys in Stillwater. And, of course, you'll hear all the coverage here.
Is the name of the hat Hedgebone? After a quick Google search.
What is it?
Hedgebone?
Hedgebone. Okay.
Heritage-bone?
Okay.
That doesn't seem right.
Your morning blend of sports,
K-State is coming off a big win over Oklahoma. Of course, the Red Raiders off their 37-34 overtime win over number 22 Texas.
and humor.
Sure to tell them that. You suggested that. And, of course, that got a big laugh.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3. Catch the show live weekdays from 6 to 9 on Double T 97.3 FM or on the Double T 97.3 mobile app.
Appreciate you being with us. Spend a little time with us today. If you have a thought or a comment, hit us up on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to doublet973.com for that, or the mobile app. It's
Mobile hat.
mobile hat. Well, I was reading these texts on the hat. The mobile app presented by Happy State Bank. The little cap that we were talking about just before 7. Everybody's like, one person calls it a newsboy cap, a flat cap. Kind of hat you guys were talking about is a beret. No, it's not a beret.
No, it's kind of like a beret, but it's a little bit different though.
Kangle hat.
I like the newsboy name. I like that one.
Yeah. I'm not sure that's its official name, but that's definitely what I would call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if somebody had one on, like seeing it as an absolutely, it's the normal like ball cap, but there's a button that snaps onto the front. That's why it's not a beret.
I've never seen it unsnapped.
Right.
I've seen one
That's weird.
unsnapped.
It's not a Kangle hat. I just looked at that. Yeah, newsboy hat. That's correct. That's the kind of cap that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the kind. And I have one of those. Mm-hmm. I have one of those.
Yeah, you should wear that with your turtleneck.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I need to get a black one because I think that's brown. So, but yeah.
How long has it been since you've worn said newsboy hat?
Oh gosh, I don't know, quite some time. It's been quite some time. But you know, like if you're in colder weather, you know, it's probably when I lived in town and they had colder weather. Well, I've got it upstairs in my room. Mm-hmm. I've got it on my hat rack with some ball caps that I don't ever wear that have been given to me or that I like to have. You know, so I've got a couple ball caps.
When was the last time you wore a regular hat?
A regular hat,
Like a ball cap.
It's been quite some time. I have.
Like your 20s?
Oh no! No, I probably had one on maybe in my 40s or 50s.
So
But
20 years?
Yeah, probably
10, 20 years?
Yeah, probably so. Mm-hmm. I just I pretty much.
You're a half a hat guy.
I'm a visor guy. Yeah, half a hat. A guy with half a hat. Well, I mean, I enjoy my Voss reads.
Yeah.
You do you, right?
Yeah, find what you like and stick to it.
Stick to it. Mm-hmm. Stick to it. Chief concern that you have with what you know about Oklahoma State. You more worried about their offense or their defense?
Well, as you were asking that question, I was in my mind thinking so your first question was chief concern.
Mm-hmm.
And their rushing attack, whether it be with their running back or their quarterback, and I'm thinking their defensive line.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what...
So that's my chief concern. Can I have two chiefs? Can there be two chiefs?
Sure, you can have.
Yes, but you need like about 10 Indians.
Yeah. Let's hear from Coach Joey McGuire. He talks about Oklahoma State's defense heading into this one.
Coach Mason's the new defense coordinator. Really a great guy. We played his team in 2018 in the Texas Bowl whenever he was at Vandy. He was the head coach whenever a couple of my guys went to Vandy, and so I have some experience with him. Just a great guy. And we're going to face one of the toughest defensive fronts, I think, in the country. I mean, those guys last year were probably the best defense between them and Baylor, one of the best defenses definitely in the Big 12, but they've come out and they've played really good this last weekend. Kind of changed up a little bit, going more to the things that he did at Vandy with more of a four-down front, which is tough whenever you have the depth that they have in the defensive line. So it's going to be a challenge.
Going to be a challenge. It is, because they already, through 4 games, have 12 sacks.
Yeah, impressive.
Okay, and then the other thing that they have is they have multiple guys with 2 or more. Mason Cobb has 2, Brock Martin has 2, Tyler Lacey has 2, and Colin Oliver has 3, and Ben Kopinski has 2. So they have multiple guys that meanwhile, for the Red Raiders through 5 games have 12 sacks, and Tyree Wilson has 5 of them. 2 for Philip Belidi, and then 2.5 for Tony Bradford Jr., and then a sack for Kosai Eldridge. Okay, so the guy that will be the marked man for Texas Tech will be Tyree Wilson. He has been just outstanding, and it seems like he keeps getting better and better each week. And here is his defensive coordinator, Tim DeRutyer, talking about Tyree Wilson and his growth.
Tyree? Yeah. I think it's not surprising to me. We think he's one of the best defensive players in our conference. We knew that, but with him being down a little bit in the summertime, getting over the injury, not really playing live reps for the first couple weeks of camp, he was a little behind as far as just his game conditioning. And I think as he's getting into games, he's getting better and better. We know he can, really set edges and do a great job in rushing speed to power. And I think he's getting more comfortable in the things we're asking him to do. And we need that from him, because he can be a real presence that if they have one guy blocking him, he can affect the game, I believe.
Yeah, he can certainly affect the game.
No doubt about it. I mean, that's a guy that has been extremely impressive, in passing situations, but I think he's done a good job in the run game too.
Well, and he's somebody that you have to plan for. So, if they're planning for him and they're having to assign more than one person to kind of keep an eye on him, that means somebody else along that front has to step up and take advantage of that.
That's what you hope for.
Yeah. It's, I think it's too early in the season for Oklahoma State, because they've only played one conference game. The Red Raiders have played 2. To kind of look at them and go, okay, well, these stats are tendencies, because it's still a little out of whack with the Arkansas Pine Bluff game and Central Michigan and, frankly, Arizona State, where 3 of their 4 opponents are lesser opponents and significantly lesser than what they're going to face in the Big 12. And I think if you look at Texas Tech's schedule so far, the schedule's tougher. And I'm not trying to make excuses. All I'm trying to say is it's hard to go, well, let's look at third down percentage for Oklahoma State and compare that to Texas Tech. Mm-hmm. Or let's look at, rushing yards that they've allowed versus what Tech's allowed.
Yeah, that's fair.
So,
I mean, they just went on the road and beat Baylor.
Mm-hmm. It's a very
right.
Impressive win.
Right, and that I think that's a really good win as well. But beyond that, it hasn't been quite as tough. I think that's fair.
Yeah. So when you kind of look at this, and so you look at this and go, well,
if you're comparing NC State to Arizona State as far as non-conference matchups, with the Arizona State one being, that was at home for them. And then if you compare that with you're playing at
NC State, and they were a ranked team,
right? And same thing with Houston; they were a ranked team.
Mm-hmm.
That's falling apart, man.
Falling apart.
Yeah.
To the point where the owner of the Houston Cougars, one of their big supporters, has come out and given Dana Holgorsen a vote of confidence.
The television broadcasters in the Houston game towards the end of the game, I mean, it was hilarious because, they were talking about, these plays here at the end of the day, they could decide whether you're in a New Year's Six Bowl or not, for Houston. And I'm like, man, it feels like you're getting ahead of yourself just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Those New Year's Six Bowls will be harder to come by in the Big 12 there, buddy boy.
But it's week 2, okay?
Yeah.
Slow down a little bit, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One thing that Oklahoma State has done a good job of, regardless of who they've played, is scoring in the red zone. They've scored 17 out of 18 attempts. 14 of those times have been touchdowns.
It's big time.
That is big time.
That to me says I have a good offensive line.
Yeah, and I think they really do. For the Red Raiders, here's been the challenge. You've been in the red zone 20 times. You've scored 16, but only 13 times have you scored touchdowns. So that's a conversion rate of 65%. You're going to have to be better than that in the Big 12 to win 3 more games.
Sure.
You're tuned into the Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3, recapping the night that was in the world of sports.
That's not to say that they don't respect the run game that you have, but you're talking about one quarterback leading the conference in passing so far this year. And remember, he didn't start the first game.
All right.
Still played a lot, though.
And also bringing some humor to your day.
I just don't want to disappoint you. As much as I disappoint you, I don't want to disappoint you in some things that you expect from me.
Hear the show live weekday mornings at 6 on Double T 97.3 or on the Double T 97.3 mobile app. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is presented by Bizarre Solutions. Call them today for a free cybersecurity audit.
Questions. Do we have the answer to your one question?
Well, I'm going to stick with Red Raider football today.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with this matchup at Oklahoma State. And we're going to play the fill-in-the-blank game today.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Pin the tail on the donkey. No, doing that game, we're filling in the blank game.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Always hated those questions on tests. Fill in the blank.
Okay. Yeah.
Multiple guess. I was better at essay.
I think the pin the tail on the donkey game would be difficult for our question of the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be difficult.
Okay. It's kind of random, I realize.
All right. And this can be random as well. Mm-hmm. This can deal with any aspect of the game. The Red Raiders will win on Saturday if.
If.
And you can say if a miracle happens. That'd be somewhat boring, but we were looking more specific. But.
I will say the Texas Tech Red Raiders will win on Saturday if they don't turn the ball over.
Okay.
If they don't turn the ball over. Because I think you're clearly better when you don't turn the ball over. That's Captain Obvious speaking there, right?
Sure is.
But for this particular team, it's been extremely obvious that you're better when you don't turn the football over and give yourself more chances to score. Jeff?
If they are much more successful on first down. Not I mean, we're not talking like just 1 or 2. If you're getting 2nd and 6 instead of 2nd and 12, that you've gotten a lot. If you are keeping ahead of the chains, I think your defense is good enough to corral, I guess is the way to word it, the Oklahoma State offense and make it a game. And if you are having your offense play the way it can and being ahead of the chains, I think you win this game.
I think it takes a lot of different things. Both things that you guys mentioned are things that I think it would take. But one that really jumps out to me is when I look at the Red Raiders and when they've played well and when they haven't played well, I look at being able to slow down a rushing attack. And against Texas, which I think is a good football team, maybe not great, but a good football team, they were able to slow down their rushing attack. Defense did a great job. Against Kansas State, you weren't. You wanted to make them, force them to try to beat you with their passing attack, and you couldn't get that done because you couldn't stop their quarterback enough. You couldn't stop their lead dog running back enough, and because of that, you just didn't give yourself a chance for the most part, when it all came down to the end of the game, even though you were in it for most of the contest. So, yeah, you can do those things. You can slow down the run and all of that, or you can be better on first down. But then if you turn the ball over, it kills all of that. I think that's fair to say. I think that's in every football game. But specifically for me in this one, I just think that if you're able to slow down the rushing attack and you force Sanders to be more of a passer, and I think Sanders is a better passer than Martinez is, I think you have a better chance to win this game. I think Oklahoma State may still be talented enough to beat you with their passing attack. I don't think Kansas State was, but I think Oklahoma State's, they're a little bit more versatile on offense, and he's an experienced guy. And even though I don't think he's a great quarterback, the experience pays dividends, and I think he's a good enough quarterback.
I look at this game just on the surface, and I'm more worried about their defense than I am their offense. I'm more worried about what their defense is going to do to you than what their offense is going to do to you. Because I think that the Tech defense is good enough that you can hold off Oklahoma State from scoring like at will. Okay. And didn't necessarily show that last week. I get it.
Yeah, I think this is a better offense this week than what you faced last week.
Okay.
I think you're right in that feeling like you're
worried about them.
You're scared about Oklahoma State's defense. I get that. I'll just be honest with you. I'm scared about Texas Tech's offense.
In general, regardless of who you're...
Right now, they've got a lot of things to get worked out. I mean, it has not been pretty. So, I mean, I don't care who you're playing. Right now, I'm worried about the Tech offense.
Somebody off the Yates Flooring Center chat line said if the offensive line does their job, we had a couple of guys say this, if the offensive line protects the quarterback. I agree with that.
It's just going to be a challenge.
It's just going to be a challenge. I do agree with what Jeff said about being better on first down. Coach McGuire's brought that up repeatedly about being better on first down and how that sets up second and third down.
Yeah, I feel like it's been a little bit better the last couple of weeks compared to the Houston game that was so horrible. I think it was, where you had the 16 or 17 times. Yeah. You had second and 10 or worse. Yeah,
that was just a crazy number. Somebody says feels like Spencer Sanders has been there forever. I agree with that. I agree with that. Fire sprinkler guy thinks Tech will win if we capitalize on fourth down. God, I hope we don't have to rely on fourth down because I feel like that's a crapshoot. Don't you? I feel like that if you're
big risk.
It's a big risk. It's that taking that card. If you're at the blackjack table, you're at 16. You want to go ahead and hit me.
It also says you weren't very successful on first through third down. If you're needing fourth down.
If you're needing fourth down, right?
Yeah.
Washed up guy says I feel very strongly Tech will win Saturday. Go ahead.
Maybe he's just basically saying that texter is saying that he expects us to need the fourth downs, and because Oklahoma State's good defense.
Yeah.
Which is fair, and so we have to come through on those fourth downs, which I also think is fair. So,
speaking of fire sprinkler guy, he chimed in 18 minutes ago. Fire sprinkler guy here, ... I've not chimed in a while, but wanted you all to know I'm still a faithful listener. So he must be a Tolo. I learned this off the Yates Flooring Center chat line the other day. Do you know what a Tolo is? Tolo. We need more of these. The more of these that we have, the better off we'll all be. Do you know what a Tolo is, Jeff?
Got no idea.
Jamie?
I'm trying to come up with something, but...
Turn it on, leave it on. Tolo.
Okay.
Okay? We need more Tolos. So, fire sprinkler guy, I'm going to call you a Tolo. And that's a compliment. You
Well,
turn it
don't we
on,
want them to listen
leave
to
it
the
on.
score too?
Well, both of our stations, yes.
Then you're not just leaving it on. You have to change it a little
Well, but it's on. Turn it on, leave it on. PJ,
Tolo sounds a lot better, Jeff, than
oh,
T-O-C-O...
yeah.
TB.
Just be a Tolo.
Turn it on.
Turn it on, leave it on.
Change it. Turn it back.
Yeah. Opus says that she's a Tolo. Okay.
It's good.
It is good. Let's see. PJ says this. I hate to break it to you, but Spencer Sanders can come back next year. Good God almighty.
And he will. He's not good enough to be an NFL
No, he
quarterback.
can make more money at Oklahoma State than he can, with his master's degree doing something.
Yeah, I have no idea what his master's degree is. I just know I don't think he's an NFL quarterback. So
I understand that.
might be like an NFL tight end, but
Might get a cup of coffee.
yeah, I would be surprised if he's not back.
This from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. I think I agree with this. Against K-State, you had to account for two backs who could hit the home run. Against Oklahoma State, I don't think you have to account for the same running ability, which feels more like UT, where you had to count mainly for Bijan and not Card. I think
Spencer Sanders can hurt you running the football.
Can he to the same degree of Adrian Martinez?
No, but he's also a way better passer than Adrian Martinez.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think you're facing a better offense this week.
Okay, well, maybe so. Like I said, if you ask me, I'm just telling you, I'm more worried about their defense than I am their offense.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Because I think your defense can neutralize them. I mean, it's just a handful of plays last week.
It's just a handful in every game.
I know.
Decide games.
Yeah.
They made it look easy.
Okay. 7:40 this morning on the morning drive. Boom, boom, boom is next.
Your morning dose of coffee and sports. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3. Catch the show live weekdays from 6 to 9 on Double T 97.3 FM or on the Double T 97.3 mobile app.
Nope, I don't think there'll be any ketchup. I don't know that there's any reason for ketchup tonight out at the Lubbock Chamber of Commerce barbecue. So you may want to take some of your own packets if you need some ketchup. I know.
Be there.
I know.
There needs to be ketchup at every stop.
I don't think there'll be ketchup at every stop. I just think that there's...
I think normally the other years that I've been, there's all sorts of different food.
Okay.
It's not just barbecue.
There's been some sausage on a stick. There's some chicken.
I think I've had like pizza and chicken strips out there at times.
Oh, okay. I didn't know there was pizza.
Yeah.
You can put pizza on your grill. There's no question.
Sure.
I've not figured out.
We've heard rumors about it anyway.
Yeah, I've not mastered it. It's been a while since I've tried it.
I've not mastered it.
I've not mastered it.
Which part have you not mastered?
The pizza on my Komodo Joe.
Pizza.
He's having a temperature problem.
I've got the temperature down.
What have you mastered, Jeff?
What have I mastered?
Mm-hmm.
Awkward silences.
What? No.
There's no such thing.
You've caused them?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, well, that may be. I will tell you this. I would stake my
Chuck
life
has
on
mastered eye rolling and head shaking.
Yeah.
The divorce jokes. Those I've got.
I would stake my life on my pulled pork and my chicken and my hamburgers. I would stake my life on it. My pulled pork especially. I had a question for you earlier about barbecue, and this is very, very shallow into the pool. Do you like your brisket shredded or sliced?
Shredded.
Shredded. Okay.
I don't have a strong opinion either way. I guess I just like it a little bit better shredded.
Because then you put that on a bun if you were going to eat a sandwich.
It's just a little bit easier to manipulate.
Okay.
Yep. You don't have like the chunks falling out the side. It's all shredded. It usually stays in there bound together. But if it's like chunks,
right,
then you can raise it up and like something's gonna fall out the side.
I got you. Yeah, with slippage.
We don't want any slippage. Yeah. So I like the shredded. It sticks together. It's got good chemistry. Nobody's blaming anyone else. They all just stick together.
Yeah.
Usually when I make one, first thing I do is I cut it in half. Half of it gets shredded, half of it gets sliced, so that I can do the slices for dinner that night.
Gotcha.
And then I've got the shredded stuff for sandwiches and stuff later. And it makes the 20-pound brisket not feel like I'm just eating just brisket. It adds some differences to it.
Is there anything on the grill that you have, quote, mastered that you would stake your life on?
Keep in mind, I live in an apartment and can't have a grill.
So the answer would be
no.
No. Okay.
I think he would stake his life on his really easy ribs or
Stupid
whatever.
easy ribs?
Yeah,
sure.
stupid easy ribs. Yeah, the stupid easy ribs. No, I think...
But again, not on the grill.
Not on the grill, but the stupid easy ribs, I think that is a...
It's solid.
No, there's no doubt. I mean, I used your recipe and gave you all the credit in the world for the stupid easy ribs. It was like ribs, barbecue sauce, Dr. Pepper, throw it in the crock pot, walk
Way to go.
away.
You're just giving away all of his secrets.
No, I freely give that one away.
He freely gives that one away.
That was like his grandmother's secret recipe, and you just gave it away on the air with your phone number.
Jamie, I've told you, my grandmother couldn't cook. She was the one that put macaroni in the chocolate chip cookies because she didn't have any chocolate chips. And bless my grandfather's heart, he ate them.
He ate them.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow, he must have really loved her.
I must have.
Is this the same grandfather that gives us pears every year?
That'd be the one.
Has he placed that order yet?
I don't ever ask that question.
Okay, all right.
When they show up, it's a nice, pleasant surprise that's expected, but still a pleasant surprise.
It's generally my only pear of the year, but it's the best pear of the year.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
I've threatened to buy a box. All right, here's I think that a couple of conversation starters for today's barbecuing event is in order. So let me give you a couple. Okay. Should the Red Raiders win on Saturday, it would be their first win over a top 10 team since they won in 2011. I believe it was 2011.
At Oklahoma?
At Oklahoma, yep. 41-38. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Also, should the Red Raiders win on Saturday, it would be their first road win since they won over a ranked team, since they won in Stillwater in 2018. The Red Raiders won as the Cowboys were ranked 15th. Okay?
Okay,
So those are two little tidbits for you. Here is offensive coordinator Zach Kittley. He talks about Donovan Smith and guiding him and helping him not only off the field but on the field as well.
Yeah, I mean, just stay positive, keep your head up. I mean, Coach McGuire said that since I got hired. No one's going to take more criticism than him and the quarterback, no matter where you're at, win or lose. Same thing. Probably the week before against Texas, he probably had 1 million people patting him on the back. Just kind of how it goes. He's every week you're going to have stuff you got to fix, and he's a competitor and he loves to win, and he put a lot of that on him. And when you go back and you really watch the film, it wasn't all on him. It was on everybody. It starts with me offensively. But he's doing a really good job. We got the areas we got to clean up as always, but there's some stuff that to the fan and watching on TV, you may think, oh, that's just the quarterback making a mistake when they don't see the other 10 people on the field. There are areas that we really got to clean up to help him as well.
So that's the message from both the head coach and the OC with regard to it's not just him, it's the others as too. There's also a part of me that wonders how much how much better would Baron Morton have to be in practice to get some meaningful game reps or a series or two if you wanted to pull Donovan just to let him to be able to see the forest for the trees a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have the answer to that. I will tell you that I'm not the guy that is the firm believer in the, hey, go sit down for a series. It's going to change everything.
Okay. I'm
not that guy.
Okay. I mean, it's been a long time since you've done that.
Sometimes I think if a guy is like emotionally charged and you need him to get his heart rate down and take a breath, that maybe I could see.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. You think Donovan's standing over there on the sideline watching 3 plays is going to change things?
No.
It sounds great, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, the example that's always cited is Graham Harrell. That's the example that's always cited.
And I think it's about calming down somebody's emotions.
Mm-hmm. And I've not necessarily seen that's been an issue, but it doesn't appear to be.
Donovan's going to go over to the sideline and go, oh, I see what they're doing with their safeties now. I'll check down to the tight end.
Yeah.
Probably not realistic. Right?
Yeah, it'd be like you pulling me for a segment or two, and then that's how you do it. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
You thought about that?
Every Tuesday at 8:30.
Touche.
We come back Wednesday with the same thing. See, it doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work. You're right. It just doesn't work.
That was your joke, not mine. You kind of led me to that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's all good. 8:24 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to the Double T 97.3 mobile app. It's presented by Happy State Bank. Benchmark Hotline is open too at 806-771-0973. You'll hear Red Raider football with Joey McGuire tonight at 6. He'll have a player with him and a coach. Don't know who that is yet. It's a mystery guest. Okay.
Ooh.
Or I've just not been told. Okay. They just keep that from me.
I think they usually send out a press release about mid-morning.
After our show.
Wait for them. They wait for us to finish up.
Yahoos to get off the air.
They want the real talent, Woodman and Haxton, to mention it. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. It's just, and you and Clint during the bottom line.
I said real talent.
Oh, okay, that's true. Yeah. Your thought again, comment. Benchmark Hotline is open too at 806-771-0973. We'll also have NFL action tonight from Denver, Mile High, as the Broncos play host to the Indianapolis Colts. Be interesting tonight for Peyton Manning. Who's he going to root for? Is he going to root for Indianapolis, his first team, or is he going to root for the Denver Broncos, his most recent team, even though it's been quite some time since he's played? Won Super Bowls with both of them and lost Super Bowls with both of them. Who are you going to root for? He's going to have a half jersey on tonight, half helmet?
You've been listening to the Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3. For more from Lubbock Sports Station, go to doublet973.com.